Hey guys, so I got the new Shure wireless system. Went to the office to pick it up earlier this morning, and here it is. I will be unboxing it. Let's see. I mean, I've used the previous generation for 7 years. I got it, and I've been perfectly happy with the system, except it started getting a lot of interference in my apartment. For some reason, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's my wireless router. I have neighbors. I have a store downstairs, so it's just never worked perfectly. On stage, it's been fine, and I played 3 shows in Florida 2 weeks ago, and we started getting interference like crazy. Not as sort of as bad for me as for the bass player. The bass player was just it sounded like a Leslie effect. It was almost unusable. You had to be in direct sight of the receiver, otherwise it was just not working correctly. So anyway, let's take a look what's inside. So here we go. Instruction manual, very well packaged stuff, more cardboard, and this is the receiver, and it looks exactly from the pictures the same as my old one. So the main difference is that well, this receiver runs on two bands basically, so there's less of a chance of a dropped signal, which is good. It also has an extra input so that you can use this as a tuner, or if you decide to go direct and you have a pedal board, you can just leave it on your pedal board and simply use the plug. Let's take a look at both of them side by side. So the form factor is exactly the same. They look identical. This is the old one and this is the new one. Same size, same controls, except this one has an extra input. Let's plug everything in. Right off the bat, I noticed that the battery is a lot bigger than the old one, and they claim that you have now 12 hours of playing time, which is amazing. 12 hours, that's like 3 shows and then some. So yeah, let's put everything together. This new wireless system apparently does not have a switch to turn on the system. You simply plug in the plug and it starts working. And let's take a look at both transmitters side by side. See, this is the old one, this is the new one. They're the same size, but this feels more substantial. Also, the door for the battery is more substantial as opposed to this. And I need to charge it, so let's do that and see you when it's charged. Okay, so everything is hooked up and connected, and here's what I think. First of all, I'm deliberately causing interference, see, by placing the wireless router, and this thing is not liking. So where's this advertised backup frequency? I don't know, but the interference sounds like this. That. So basically, as of now, I'm going to write an email to Shure with about 4 questions. As of now, the old system and the new system work exactly the same way in my apartment with the wireless router. I know I'm putting it too close to the router, but that's the point. I'm trying to have it interfere with various devices. On the website, they advertise that they're twice as many frequencies, so it's less likely to drop out their backup frequencies and all that stuff. I'm not sure as of now what is going on, but it's still cutting out exactly the same way as before. But let me show you some of the new features, what I've observed in this new system. So first of all, this external input, you can configure it in various ways. You can configure it so that, the way I have it, wireless is on, and then if you plug something in here, see, it basically overrides the wireless system signal. You can also configure this button to act as an A/B switch, or you can use it as a regular tuner switch with muting or without muting. Now, for me, I'm a live musician. I don't want to accidentally mute myself, so my Shure wireless system will never mute my sound. If I want the tuner, I have the onboard tuner for that. Or I can play live and see what's going on with my tuning. Now, from what I've gathered so far, there are two kind of modes of operation. 2.4 gigahertz, which is equivalent to the old Shure system. And the new one combines 2.4 gigahertz and 5.8 gigahertz together. You can still enable individual frequency ranges, or you can have both. Now, what I don't like about the system right off the bat, maybe it's just me, but again, I'm going to write to the support, is the following. On the old system, I was able to select the channel manually. So like you press the channel and there's no such thing, it just scans it for you. And I have enabled 2.4 and 5.8. And if you're seeing a letter, that means it's 5.8. If you're seeing a number, it's 2.4. So if you press channel, it will allegedly, see, now it's a number. It found this channel in this group that is the best quality. But clearly not because it's interrupting, but again, because of the router, which is not a kind of natural environment for this to be in. I don't understand what happened to group 4. Group 4 is is not here. So this is one of my questions to support. What the hell happened to group 4? Just for my own information. But even if it works the same way as the old system, I think I'm going to keep this because it's newer. My old one is 7 years old. This one is going to have support. It's going to have replacement parts. It's going to have firmware updates, definitely. So I'm keeping it, I think, because again, it's not like it's worse than the previous system, but I will get my answers and I will continue this video. This is all happening in real time, so this is like a reality show of me discovering this rather complicated system. All right, so let's check back in a couple of days. Okay, so new shirt, new day. I just got off the phone with Shure, and let me tell you what I discovered and found out. Backup frequencies are indetectable from the user interface. You don't know what the wireless system did. If it hopped to a new frequency, it will just do it for you. You will not be able to tell. It will not like hop onto a different channel or anything. Speaking of channels on this new system, as I thought I was correct, there's no way to manually select a group and a channel. You can only select a group, and when you press the channel with your transmitter off, it will scan for the best channel and just automatically assign it. So you cannot just scroll through your channels and pick, for example, channel 25. It may choose for you 25 or 21 or 2A or 2B. If it's a letter, it's 5.8. If it's a number, it's 2.4. This kind of old frequency range. speaking of the groups, there are now only 3 groups, as I was correct. Group 4 does not exist. Groups are basically group 2 and is recommended when you're experiencing a lot of interference, when you have a lot of wireless systems running at the same time. Something like 8 wireless systems, that's when you should use group 2. Group 1 has the lowest latency, just like an old system. Latency is when you're playing a note or chord, your signal is being converted into a stream of zeros and ones. It's received by the receiver and amplified. So between you playing a note and it being amplified, for example, in group 2, it used to take 7.3 milliseconds. Now it takes 8 milliseconds. So it's slightly slower. However, because of this new dual band feature, you can more safely use group 1 without the fear of interference. So for example, and again, the best way to set up your system is to always scan for the best channel. So let's say we have a guitarist and the bassist. The bassist is in group 1, scans the channel, picks channel 1-1. Shure picks that channel for the bass player. And I'm the guitarist, I'm also in group 1, press the button, it will pick channel 1B for me. So different frequency range, no interference. So even though the latency increased, there are twice as many possible channels that we can have. So therefore, I can use a lower latency channel that used to have more interference, but not because of the dual band feature, I can use that. So there we go. I'm keeping it. It's just the manual is really poorly written. All the information that used to be just right there in your face on the old manual is just not there. It's weird. So sounds good. You know, I will use group 1 because of this ability to be on a different frequency, a different band with the other musicians. So there's no reason for me to choose group 2 anymore. And that's about it. Sounds like you're plugged in with a cable. Sure. Let me play you some stuff so you believe me. So in short, this new system is pretty good. The sound is good. No complaints about the sound or coloring of the guitar sound. It's just like the old system. Sounds to me exactly like the cable. The manual is really poorly written, but yeah, in terms of features, you have the external input, which is nice. You have twice as many available channels, which is nice. There's a latency increase, which is not nice. However, since it's more reliable, you can use group 1 as opposed to group 2 and be on different bands with the other musician in your band. So therefore, the latency to me is not an issue because I can be in group 1 on a different band. So yeah, it's a pretty good deal. Same exact money as the old system, and I'm keeping it. So So thank you for watching. Please like or dislike and subscribe.